Hello and welcome to another episode of Scottish Football Matters with me, Lorenzo, and my good friend Murray.
Oh yeah,
And tonight we're going to be discussing the Scotland match on Tuesday night, how we're all feeling about that. Obviously, after the heroics of the lads on Tuesday night against Denmark, we'll discuss the upcoming return of the Premiership this weekend, and we'll also have a wee dig in at the Celtic AGM from this afternoon. How you doing, mate?
aye, good. A bit under the weather, but I think everyone's feeling it with the -3
Oh,
temperatures this
aye.
morning.
Temperatures is mental,
But
isn't it? Aye.
aye, but I mean, apart from that, I'm feeling great. But obviously the with the Scotland game, absolutely
Still
buzzing
buzzing.
after
Still
Tuesday
buzzing.
because it was just great. Just even though, let's be honest, John McGinn summed up perfectly. We were rubbish, but but you know what? We in the
Got the job
moments
done.
that counted, we weren't. Do you know what I mean? They turned up when it mattered.
Mhm.
Because honestly, if you really went through with a fine tooth comb the 6 games that Scotland played, they were rubbish at
Aye,
times. Um, but it doesn't matter. It's a
exactly. We're there.
result business. Um,
We're there. That's all that matters.
and do you know what? It's just a great feeling. And obviously, I just think it's an absolute opportunity for every Scottish player, whether you're in Scotland, England, or abroad, to get your head down and, you know, work hard and you might find a place in the World Cup squad. And if you're not playing at a club,
Mm.
you've got January to go find a club where you can
Yep.
go play.
You
Because
can have the second,
there's a
have a
few
good second half of the season. Yep.
there's a few people in that squad that I think should be eyeing up loan moves and whatnot to get game time because
Yep.
obviously you want them in the best opportunity to play as well as they can. But
Hmm.
no, I think if we touch on the game, where do you start? I
The
mean,
overhead kick.
McTominay's goal, absolute stunning. I mean, it's up there with Bale in the Champions League final and
Zidane in
Ronaldo.
the Champions League final. Zidane's
I mean,
one at
in
Hampden
terms
was
of
a
just
belter as well.
overhead kicks,
Aye.
it's up there with the Ronaldo and Bale ones for me. And he just seemed to be staying in the air for about 5 seconds. You're like,
It
how
was
did
like
he
an eternity. It was like an
levitating?
eternity.
Aye.
It was an eye.
But fair play, brilliant goal.
Mhm.
Then I think Scotland did what Scotland do. They didn't
Yep.
really know how to build on a lead.
Hmm. Well, we did lose Doak to be fair, and he was
That
a
didn't
bright
help
spark in the
because
game.
it was not just a bright spot, but it was an out ball, and having
Hmm.
that pace worried Denmark, but they didn't really have anything to worry about. And it actually hindered Dykes when he went off because Dykes just fought a lonely old battle up there on
Hmm.
his own. I
Yep.
can't criticise him because
No.
he had nothing. The midfield became a proper five, and he was just isolated. But
Hmm.
that's how it stayed for the end of the first half. I don't really think Scotland had any major troubles in the first half. I mean, lots of long shots, but nothing that
Hoyland
you
was
would
a
say was
problem.
his movement was, but
Hmm.
you wouldn't say that Gordon was particularly tested at any point in the
No,
first
not really.
half. But then the second half, obviously, I think Gordon makes a really sharp save down to his right, and then the penalty happens, which I don't think is a penalty. I think we've
Never a
discussed
penalty.
this already, but
Yep.
you don't think it's inside the box. I don't even think it's a foul. So in both ways, we disagree it's a penalty.
It's a very strange one.
But fair play to Hoyland because he stepped up and absolutely dispatched it. But then Scotland do get their bit of luck because I don't think the second yellow is a second yellow because again I don't think it's a foul. But McGinn's really clever because he uses his body and you know shall I say in there he makes it look like there's a lot of contact.
Hmm.
Uh, so, where we didn't get the luck with the penalty, we got the luck there. These things don't always even themselves out in the same game, but for Scotland, somehow
Hmm.
they did.
I think the
Uh,
referees had a howler though as well in general in the game.
I don't know. I think he tried to let it flow, but it was, it seemed like he was like
Seemed to
giving
give them
McGinn
more
lots
fouls
of
than
things.
us.
And I think they were on the attack more, though, if I'm
Aye, they
honest. So I
probably
think
they
it
were
was
they
maybe
were they were.
it was maybe just symptomatic of like how the game was going. That
Mhm.
it was more Denmark pushing, but I thought, you know, Scotland then made the subs immediately after the red card, and I think that was huge because getting the two strikers up front. And by the way, I don't think Adams did anything in particular, but just getting a striker like Shankland who is going to be in the box. And I don't. I don't necessarily think they have the same impact if they don't go down to 10, but they
Yeah,
did go down to 10, and obviously we score from the corner, and it's a brilliant corner, by the way, from Ferguson. I mean, it's absolute
really
wicked
good.
delivery, and Shankly can't really miss. And you think, oh, great, we're going to the
That's
World Cup.
you think that's it?
13 minutes
Yeah.
to go. This will be easy. We'll see this out against 10 men. No, Scotland.
Doing what Scotland do,
4
as we
minutes
say.
later, we give away a terrible goal. The
Hmm.
penalty you can understand because it's just a kind of bad decision. It goes against you, but that was just poor all round. I mean, no
Yeah.
one seemed to do anything. Like, no one seemed to put in a tackle, put in a
There wasn't
block. It was just, we all just sort of stood still,
the guy that scored the goal. There was nobody near him
let
when
it
he
happen.
actually had a free shot at goal.
McGinn, to be fair, McGinn does try to block it, but I think he expects a powerful shot, so he gets his body in the way for that, and it's just passed beyond him.
Mm.
So,
And
that goes
at
2
that
weeks.
stage, I'm
But
thinking that's it. We've done it. That's it. We've mucked it up. We're in the playoffs basically. That's how I
yeah,
thought.
but to be fair, they dug in and they kept trying to load the ball into the box, and it all comes from. I mean, Tierney's goal comes from McGinn's shots blocked by Hanley's big fat arse, and it comes back out to Kenny McLean, who was constantly trying to just put the ball in, and he put the
Hmm.
ball in. It was probably one of his worst balls in, and the defender absolutely fluffs his clearance, and it goes straight to
Straight to
Tierney. And
Tierney.
the fact that he was playing right back, it falls perfectly for a
Well, it
left footer,
helped. It helped. Aye.
and he just comes onto it and just he passes it. He
Aye.
passes
Aye.
it into the
Because
net, and
as we discussed, I know if Ralston's on in that position instead of Tierney, that doesn't
yeah,
happen.
no, it doesn't. But at the same time, as I said as well, we don't know what happens. He might have floated in a cross and somebody scores a header at the back post.
Possibly.
You just don't know.
I'm not having a
But
go at Ralston.
fair
I like
play to
Ralston.
fair play to Tierney though, because he's not a goal scorer, but he was
No.
brave enough to take the shot. And I think having scored against was it Kilmarnock,
Kilmarnock. Aye, just before the international break.
I reckon that gave him the maybe that wee bit of confidence that he's kind of lacked this season. But that
Hmm.
wee bit of confidence might have been going through him from that goal. That if you take a shot, you can score. Uh,
Hopefully that'll G him up for the rest of
and
the season,
then
and hopefully he'll have a good
obviously
season.
Kenny McLean, everyone's going, go to the corner, go to the
Aye, I
corner.
know.
Commentators are shouting, shoot, shoot, because you
Shoot.
couldn't really see on TV where the keeper
That's
was.
right. That's right.
And then they're shouting, shoot, and you go, oh, what's going on here?
What they saying
And then
shoot for?
I know, and then as soon as it leaves his foot, the camera shows you that
Obviously,
Michael's
shows you.
nowhere.
Aye,
I mean, he's about 40 yards out, and you're just like, oh God, he can
that's
actually
getting
score.
in.
And he makes it. He makes you think though, doesn't he? Because you're like, oh, it's pretty close to the post. Is it going in? Is it going in? And then it went in. And
Aye, it went in. Aye.
I mean, only Tierney can score a worldie, and it's the third best goal in the
I know
match.
it's crazy. That's
But
just
it was the most
ridiculous.
important because it was the winner,
What was
and
for me? That was
but
the
they were
because
all important.
see without the Tierney goal, you don't get the Kenny McLean goal.
No, and but also think without the Shanklin goal, do you know what I mean? Scotland, you just don't know. So every goal's important, whether it's
I know.
from a yard or whether it's a worldie, which are the other
Mhm.
ones were. But fair play. I mean, Scotland did battle in. They got the win, and they can now look forward
Oh,
to a World
the
Cup. We've got a
Yep,
draw coming up
and
in
the 5th
December.
of December, and it's nice.
Yep,
It's
a
nice to
Friday.
know actually be part of this playoff thing in
Aye,
March. So
and
that's really good.
yeah, and I think we will touch on it because there's places. There's a 26-man squad, and
Yep.
I think I'll actually tell you because I actually did. I did a bit of a mock squad. I've got it here. 2 seconds. I'll just tell you who. I
Mhm.
was just saying, like, this is who I think would be in the Scotland squad if I picked it right now. Um, let me see. I'll just get this up. But right, this is what I went. Right, so my goalkeepers are right Angus Gunn,
Mhm.
Gordon, and Liam Kelly. Just
Right.
because I don't think there's really a third option that's playing. Well, he isn't playing either, but do you know what I mean?
Oh,
And by the way, what I would say about the goalies is, see if Gordon isn't playing by the end of January, you should try and get a loan move out to like a
yep.
Livingston or somewhere that
Aye.
he can maybe just play for 6 months. And I know
But
he's a
if
big member
Gunn's
of
fit
that
though,
Hearts squad, but
is he going to get again for Scotland during the World Cup? Is he really?
I think so because he was the keeper for
I,
most of the games.
I think he should as well,
Yeah, and he was. I mean, that
despite
save
his
against
age.
Greece. you remember that save against Greece at three in the 3-1 game where it was
Hmm.
one each at a time, and it's or is it maybe 2-1? I think we were
You mean
2-1
you
up,
mean
and he makes
oh
Andrew
aye, the one
Scunn
we
makes a
the game that
save that you
the
just
game
go,
that we won the game that we
aye,
won.
and it was just stunning. I mean that turned, that could have, if that goes in, that game finishes 2 each. Scotland don't go on and score a third. Do you know what I mean?
That's right. Aye.
But yeah, my defenders were Hanley, Hendry, Suter, McKenna. My left back's Tierney, Robertson. My right back's Hickey, and I went with Patterson, even though he's no way merits a place in the squad. But what I'm saying is, based on talent, I think he is ahead of Ralston. And if he gets a move from Everton, because he's not playing at Everton, if he gets a move from Everton in January and can kick on, I think he's a player that could be in the squad.
But
Midfield,
you do know. Sorry
mhm,
to interrupt, but you do know that Stevie Clark's loyalty to his players, so he might be loyal to Ralston. I don't
he
know, but
might
he
be,
might
but
be.
he always liked Patterson. And I think the
Aye.
reason Patterson isn't in the squad is because he isn't playing. And Ralston does play from time to time. My midfield's pretty basic. Christie, Ferguson, Gilmore, McLean, Barron are my central midfielders. McGinn, McTominay. I've went with two wingers. I've went with Ben Gannon-Doak, and I've asked the question of Harvey Barnes.
Well,
Get
that's
him
what I
in.
was just about to ask you. Obviously,
Aye.
after you finish your squad, we'll finish your squad first, and then I'll
Yeah.
come to my point.
And then my strikers, I've went with Dykes, Adams, Hurst,
Shankland,
and Shankland. Yeah.
Shankland.
So I just went with
Well,
that. And
well,
I think there's places, there's some people like Bowie could get his way in there. There's a
could
couple
do.
of,
McCowan,
you know,
maybe if he has a good second half of the season at Celtic, who
there's a
knows?
lot of players in Scotland that will now be thinking, wait a
Aye.
minute, like,
Hmm.
but yeah, I
Especially if there's
mean,
an injury to a player. But as I was going to say to you, what do you make of obviously the interview that was given to Harvey Barnes, and obviously could
I
he come
think it
in
makes sense. The boy's 27, right? He has played for England, right? I think he played a friendly
under?
match
It
and
was
come
under
on.
20. No,
Aye.
I think it was an under
But
21 game. It wasn't even a full
I think
international, a
I
full.
thought it was a friendly against Wales, and it just they don't count if
Maybe
it's
it
a
was,
friendly. It has
but
to
I
be
thought it was an
credit.
under 21 game.
But it was years and years ago, so he
Aye.
hasn't looked at since he's been at Newcastle. And let's be
Mhm.
honest, he's kicked on since he's been at Newcastle.
He's probably not
That
going to
was
get
when
picked for England. Let's face
and
it.
look at the players they've got in the wing. I mean, you're talking about Saka, Gordon. He's not getting a look in.
No.
Let's be honest. And
And I
Eze,
can understand. I can
there's a lot.
understand the Scotland fans' frustrations of saying, "Well, he's no predictable in the tournament, the qualifying campaign,
Doesn't
so
matter. You,
so he
you
doesn't
pick
merit
the
a
best
place."
player
But at the end of the day, he's a good player.
if
So
he's available to us. And
I
what
would
would
take
be
him.
great evidence to any Scotland fan who does say that is watch the game against Denmark when Ben Doak goes off.
Of course, aye.
There's no replacement. There's no like for like. If
That
you
was my
had
point.
Harvey Barnes, he would have
Mhm.
come on, and
Aye.
the game wouldn't have changed in that manner.
No, knowing the way it did, it might have changed slightly, but knowing the way that it
Might
did.
I? But you could. But Denmark realised immediately that we didn't have any pace, so they just
Aye.
went, "Oh well,
As soon as Doak went off,
we'll move up 10 yards."
basically they became they ended up all over us for the majority of that first half.
But it's because, no disrespect to Christie, because I thought Christie was having a fine game in midfield, but when he gets shunted out wide right with zero pace,
Mhm.
Denmark are just going to go, all right, well, we can move up the park. And it was Dorgu that moved up the park because Dorgu just realised, well, I've got nothing going that way. So I can
Well,
now become pretty much a
Dorgu
winger.
was getting Dorgu was getting toward a new backside, obviously, but
Yeah.
when Doak was on there. But yeah,
But yeah, I think, as I said, I think it's a great opportunity for every Scotsman who's playing to try and find a way into that squad because there's places there, because there'll be injuries.
or there
People are
will
going to
be,
pick up injuries
there
between now
definitely
and
will be.
you always see it. I mean, I remember
Seen it. Dykes got injured
Ryan
just
Jack.
before the
Aye,
Euros the last time.
exactly. Dykes
Aye,
missed the last one. I remember
that's right.
Ryan Jack was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely brilliant before the first Euros we went to and then got injured. I mean, I think he played near enough every game with Callum McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
And then that tournament, he missed all the games. And I actually felt, I mean, it did give that chance for Gilmore, don't get me wrong, and he's
Aye.
never looked back. But before that tournament, it was a really settled midfield of McGregor and Jack.
Mhm.
And then you're just like, oh.
Before
And
we before we move on
mhm,
to the domestic football, heard people say in the last couple of days about talking about Callum McGregor would he come out of retirement to go into the tournament for Scotland, and I don't know. I don't think he will.
mhm. No,
What do
I
you
don't
think?
think he will, but I do think that if there was an injury to, let's just say, a Christie or a Ferguson, would I rather be going down the list to call the likes of a Andy Irving or Josh Mulligan, or would I rather ask Callum McGregor, are you available? I'd be asking Callum McGregor.
Hmm.
Would I pick him if everyone's fit? No, I probably
No,
wouldn't because he
no,
hasn't,
no. He's
he hasn't.
retired, so
But if you're asking me if a big player that's a starter, and I mean
of
Gilmore,
course,
Christie, Ferguson, right, one of those three, if one of those three were to drop out, he'd be my
it's a
first call.
no-brainer. You have to ask the
Uh,
question, definitely,
yep, and I wouldn't hesitate in calling anyone if I felt that they could improve the team.
definitely.
And I think that's the way you should always look at it: is you want the best players available to go on be on that plane.
That's true.
So yeah, well, I'm going to let you take the lead on the next one because obviously you were there today at the Adjourned
Yeah,
Celtic
yes,
AGM.
yes, yes. The very ill-fated AGM.
So what happened?
Just basically the meeting started, and then it was like, Peter Lawwell came out, said a few words, put a video on, and then somebody basically said that we don't need to watch that here. We can watch that in the house, and then that's when the heckles started and the booing started, and
Mm,
that kind of started it all off. And then he basically postponed the meeting for half an hour, so we could sit an
right.
extra 30 minutes and wait for it to come back. It came back, it played the video, we got through the whole video. Then he basically Peter Lawwell come back on, introduced uh, Ross Desmond, Dermot Desmond's
Mm-hmm.
son. He basically spoke, had his saving statement that he had to come out with. That triggered the fans even worse, and then
Did he
obviously that
call
made
the Celtic fans bullies?
he did, yeah,
Sorry,
yep,
but
he did.
yeah, I heard that. I heard that there was something that they were called bullies, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone just went, oh, "Fuck this."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was folk
Mm.
there with, I mean, I didn't have one, but there was folk there with red cards, showing red cards to the board and stuff. So, yep,
It's
not nice at all.
it's quite a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say
See if
so.
you weren't so good on the pitch, still,
It would
you
be a
would be
lot
an
worse.
absolute
Oh, I think
batshit
it'd be,
crazy club
yeah,
right now
it'd be a
because
lot worse. Aye.
I mean it's just there's just everything. I mean, an old man, no disrespect to him, a fantastic old manager, right? But an old man is holding your club together, and he's
Mhm.
73,
But
and the
he's a
rest of it is
he's a good guy. I mean, he
he
is a
is.
really
No,
good guy.
it's not his problem, but
Hmm.
this just. Do you know what I'm going to say? It reminds me a little bit of when Ali McCoist was kind of holding Rangers together at a
Yeah.
point. Obviously, different circumstances, but whereas you just had one guy who was seemed to be the face of everything, but he wasn't the problem, and the problem was all behind him and around him.
Hmm.
But eventually, that gets to that one guy, and you start to see the strain. And I wouldn't like to see Martin O'Neill get the strain because if he goes on any longer in this role, and let's just say some results don't go his way, it's not going to be a fun place,
No,
and it's
it
certainly
won't
not going
be.
to be a fun place for any new manager whenever they
And
do
Martin O'Neill
come in.
knows that. He knows that.
I know because all it
I
takes is a bad result tomorrow, and that's put your club's just going to go even more mental.
but I just want them to get a managerial appointment sorted ASAP as soon as they can.
I think at the moment they're going to use O'Neill as um,
Shield.
a shield until the cup final,
You think
and
so?
then a new manager will come in. Yeah, I really do. I mean, how many? It's only 3 weeks away, is it not?
I know. That's right. Well, the
I mean, if they
14th
couldn't
of
get a
December.
manager, if they couldn't get a manager in the last 3 weeks, what makes you think they're going to get it in the next three? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I know.
Um, I just think it's a bit of a mess. But
It
at the same
is.
time, while the results keep going on the pitch, it's not going to get any worse. But it
As
could
long as we can
if
claw the
it
points back
changes.
on Hearts and climb up there, I'll be happy. Put it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, if Hearts were to pull away, or like I think you played them in the 6th or 7th of December.
It's
Like
not
I
that,
know
about
it's
two
at
or three
Celtic
weeks.
Park, but like if you were to lose that and Hearts pulled further away, I mean the board are going to get in the neck if there isn't a new manager in by then. Any bad result you get right from now on isn't going to go on Martin O'Neill. It's going to go on the board.
I think there will be a new manager in before the cup final. I know you're saying they might keep Martin O'Neill to the cup final. I think there should be a new manager in before
I
the
think
cup
that
final.
depends on results, though. I think if Martin O'Neill gets you through the next 3 or 4,
You
I
might be
think
right.
he would. But you'll
Might be
just
right.
need to see.
Aye.
But shall we move on to the the weekend's games, because there's some good
Yeah.
games.
Aye. Mhm.
Let's start with where we start. Dundee United Falkirk.
Mhm.
What's your prediction for that one? I predict a good game.
Aye.
That's,
That will be a good
I
game. I
think it'll
think
be a Dundee United are good on the ball. Falkirk have got some good results. They're
it might be a
not
high
quite
score.
the same away
Might be
from
a
home.
lot of goals in it. There might be a lot of goals in that game. Could be a lot
I've
of
said
goals in it.
that a few times this year, but they're just not. They're not the same away from home. You've seen that at Celtic Park,
Aye.
and the, their better results have came at home.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say 3-1 Dundee United,
I'll go
but
2-1 Dundee United. But I think Dundee
I'm
United will
not.
win, but 2-1.
Right. What about Hibs Dundee? Dundee are a horrible team to predict, because you see them
They're hot
against
and cold, aren't
Celtic,
they?
right? You see them against Celtic and you go, these are really well organised, just look good. And you see them against Rangers and they look terrible.
Aye.
um,
It just depends on what Dundee team turns up, basically.
but you could say the same about Hibs as well. Hibs aren't exactly an easy team to sort
Predict.
of read either. But I think because it's Easter Road, I'm gonna it's gonna sound like an easy game, but I'm gonna go 2-0 Hibs. But I think there'll be moments that Dundee have in the game, but Hibs will probably just have too much quality. I
I'll
think I'm
go.
going to go 2-0.
I'll go 3-1 Hibs for that one.
Right. What about Kilmarnock Motherwell? The draw
Mother
specialists.
Motherwell should do all right, and if they play well enough, they should beat Kilmarnock because they can play good football. They have played good football this season, Motherwell.
They have, but I'm just. I think it's going to be one each.
You think so? Another draw?
I just think there's a lot. They both teams are
Even
just drawing.
Kilmarnock are drawn as
They're
well a
drawing a
lot.
lot.
Yeah. Aye.
I just think there's. I think if this was at Motherwell, I'd be edging Motherwell, but because it's at Rugby Park, because it's that horrible stadium, I
Aye,
just
a
think
plastic pitch.
I'm just going to go one each on that one.
I agree with you. I
But
think it'll be a draw.
I wouldn't be surprised if Motherwell won. If anyone's going to win, I'd say Motherwell.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
I
think
fancy Motherwell to maybe edge it, but I'll probably sit in err on the side of caution and sit in the fence and say it will be a draw.
Rangers Livingston. This is an interesting one for me, because I know on paper I should say Rangers will horse them, right? But I think the key thing for Rangers is if they go 1-0 up, can they go 2-0 up? And I think if they do at a reasonably early point in the game, like within half an hour, I think it'll be a comfortable day. If they don't, I think it'll be an uncomfortable 1 or 2-0. I'm going to go 4-1, right? Because I do think that Rangers will get that early start, but we will talk on it. But Rangers have got quite an injury crisis after this international break. We had no injuries going into the international break, but we've came back, and Suter's going to be out for all of December. Cornelius as well. Mikey
Yep.
Moore's out for maybe all of December,
Hmm.
and there was a couple others that were. So that's our two centre backs. So we might actually get to see the lesser spotted Manny Fernandez,
Yeah, you
which
never
I
know.
think will be. I think that'll be a good game for him, though. If you're going to bring in a centre back, I think home to Livingston is kind of the game to do it.
Hmm.
So I think it will be Fernandez and Giga, but that does worry me when the games get tougher.
Aye.
Um, if you're going to Dundee United or Tynecastle with Fernandez and Giga, that could be a worry for me. And I think at some point they might try to put Tav at centre back for maybe
All right.
certain games, just because, or maybe go to a back three with Tav to sort of
Hmm.
help them out experience wise. Because I don't know how I'd feel about those two uh, going to. You know what it's like when you went to Tynecastle with, Dane Murray and Scales. You seen what happened. You know,
Yep. Donovan
if you don't
Donovan
get
played in that game as well, didn't he?
exactly, and if Rangers were to go there with players that maybe aren't ready,
Hmm.
we could get found out. But I think I'm going to go 4-1 Rangers, because I don't ever see Rangers keeping a clean sheet, if I'm totally honest. And I do think that Rangers will get goals, because I think Livy are kind of
Mhm.
the best team for Rangers to play right now in terms of they don't really know how to shut up shop like they used to, and they're quite easy to play against,
Aye.
if I'm
Well,
totally honest.
I'm hoping that Rangers don't win, obviously,
So yeah,
but it is at Ibrox,
yeah,
so I think I'm not going to go as gung ho as you. I think Rangers probably will win it, but I'll say they'll win 2-1.
yeah. It could be like that. As I said, if
Mm.
Rangers don't get that early goal or don't get two up, then
Mhm.
it could be exactly like that. But
I'm hoping that it's not going to be 2-1 Rangers, but that's what I think
I,
will
I
happen.
just I just see it being a comfortable-ish kind of day. But on to the 8 o'clock on a Saturday night game.
I know.
uh, St Mirren Celtic. Now, see if everything today hadn't happened. Actually, see when I wrote this down yesterday,
Hmm.
I had 2-1 Celtic written down, right?
Yeah.
But see, after today, I just get a feeling that this game's all wrong for you. And St Mirren are horrible. It's a horrible
It's a
place to go.
horrible kick-off time as well. 8 o'clock on a
That
Saturday
too.
night. I know.
I'm going to go one each. And it's not because I don't think Celtic are better than them. I do. I just think that all of the nonsense off the field is going to spill onto the field at some point.
It will
Um,
tomorrow, and it shouldn't, but it will. Because
and I just
but
think this
see,
being
see
so
the
close
fans,
to the AGM.
they shouldn't do that because it will affect. It does ultimately affect the players on the pitch. It does.
Yeah, and I also
Um,
just think that this Celtic team isn't at its strongest, if we're honest. We know that. Uh, and I think even a strong Celtic team going away to St Mirren's a tricky game. And I just think that there's maybe not enough leaders in that team, aside from maybe McGregor. I just look at that and I go, maybe Scales as well has been a bit of a leader, but I look at some other positions and I just go, his end goes up for the fight, his knee going up for a horrible Saturday night in Paisley, where it'll be Baltic.
aye, well,
and
I think, I think myself. I know that you're predicting a draw. I still think Celtic will be too strong for them. I think Celtic will eventually win, but I think they'll win 2-0. I think there'll be
yeah,
two goals in the game. I think we'll win 2-0.
I just, I don't even know if I see. I mean, Martin O'Neill these have been better.
Aye,
Um,
that's the reason I'm going for the 2-0 because of the Martin
but
O'Neill effect.
his good results have been at Celtic Park against, shall we say, well, I don't want to say lesser teams, but I don't think Kilmarnock and
Falkirk and Kilmarnock.
Falkirk are as good as St Mirren. I don't think they're as organised as St Mirren. I don't think they're as compact as St Mirren. And it's not an away game. The only away game Martin O'Neill's had was in Midtjylland.
Well, if you
Obviously, he's
count
had
if
a.
you if you count
I'm not
Hampden,
counting it.
that's
I'm
not a
not
home
counting
game
that
either. I know
because
that,
I'm
but
not counting that. Hamden's just a new. But I'm just saying when you're going into somebody else's
I
gaff,
know. Aye.
and I think I don't know. I don't think Celtic will lose the game, but I don't know that they'll win it either. But I
I
don't
think it'll
think
be
they'll
a
lose
tricky
any
game.
ground because you're gonna get. I'm gonna get to my other prediction because I don't think they'll lose ground.
Right. Okay.
Because
Right.
when we
Okay.
get to Hearts,
Aberdeen Hearts.
I think that
The
Aberdeen
Codry.
will get a 1-1 draw.
You think that'll be a draw?
so, so I think both Celtic and Hearts will both get 1-1 draws,
I
and Rangers
think.
will eat into the lead, but it's not. We're nowhere near a title race yet. But I do think that this is just one of those weekends where you just go away to Aberdeen's a tricky place to go. Away to St Mirren's tricky.
Mm.
Home to Livingston not as tricky. Sometimes you get those weekends, but that will be. You're going to have a. I think you've got a week where you're at home to Dundee and we're at like Kilmarnock or
Mhm.
we're at Dundee United. It happens. You get
Aye.
weekends where you go. They've got the easier game, and
Aye.
I think this will just be one of those weekends where
Well,
Rangers slightly eat into the lead.
the Aberdeen, the Aberdeen Hearts game. You're probably right about the draw. I mean, could be another draw. But I think Hearts in the last couple of games have been lucky to get a draw at the last two games. They've no deserved to
I agree.
win
They're
at least one of them.
still unbeaten.
They're still unbeaten. They've no deserved to win at least one of them. So I think they're due a defeat. So
I don't
I'm
think you'll
going to
get a
I'm
great
going to go
reception, obviously, up at
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
But he certainly won't. I think
Even though
Aberdeen
he's been
will be
back
up
with
for the game.
Kelly, but I think this is different. I think
Aye,
going back with Hearts and being
top of the league.
not even just top of the league, but I would say that Hearts are a rival of Aberdeen,
Mhm.
as in they're
Aye.
the team expected to fight with them for European places. Where
Mhm.
when he went up there with Kelly, there wasn't really that same. It was more just like, well, you aren't quite as good as us.
I
So
I think Aberdeen. will win it. I
Yeah,
think. I think. I
I
think
think
because
they'll
I
win.
think it's about.
I just don't know that. I don't know that Aberdeen are quite winning games that they should be winning. But by the way, they might. They've got good players. I mean, Stuart Armstrong, Carlson. They've got
Aye,
good
that's
players.
right.
The
They have
big
got
boy
good
up front,
players,
that
and they're at
Lazetic,
home.
what was his name? He's
That's
looked
got that.
better, hasn't he?
Aye,
Last few weeks.
that's got to be a factor. The fact that at Pittodrie as well, they've got to put up a fight at
Mhm.
least.
I can't believe we don't play Aberdeen till January this season. It's madness, isn't it? We're going to play them 4 times between January and May.
That's mental.
And yous are the same with Dundee United. Yous
That's
don't play
crazy.
them till January just because
It's the
they
way the
happen to be the
international
games.
breaks
No,
are.
but it was because of
Well,
the League Cup though.
oh,
Because we
aye,
were
that
in
as
cup
well.
action, their
That's
games
well.
get postponed.
Hmm.
So, no, I think it'll be another interesting weekend. And
That's another reason why I think the games, the final, fair enough, have it at the weekend, but see the semi-finals have them midweek, so that you don't need to postpone these league games.
just there's not enough fucking free dates for
Aye,
UEFA
I know. They
cramming
used
in.
to. I'm
But
pretty sure they used to have these
I know,
semi-finals during the
but
week,
it's
but because of the
UEFA
European
cramming about
fixtures, I know,
8,000 games
I
this
know,
side of Christmas. So you're just
it's
like,
nuts, nuts.
but
It's just
no, I
nuts.
think it'll be another interesting weekend. But be interesting. We'll come back on Monday and we can obviously go through it all.
Yeah.
And I think next week we've got European games, haven't we? Next
Aye,
midweek.
Celtic will get Feyenoord
Although
on the Thursday night.
I have to say the enthusiasm between us is probably at its lowest
Aye, I,
because
I can see
I
Europe far
genuinely
enough, to be
don't care.
honest.
Aye,
I'm not
I just
interested.
I know I should care about the coefficient, but
I don't want to
I
see us
don't
getting
think
pumped, put it that way. Don't want to see that happen, but
I don't think anyone can criticise Rangers for doing their bit for coefficient. So we're allowed a year off. Quite frankly, I think that's a fair point from how much Rangers have contributed over the last
but
decade.
it's not that. We have as well. I mean, us and Rangers are the only two teams that really contribute. The other teams
No, but I think
don't
Celtic in
really.
the last few years have been in the Champions League and been out of their depth. Not last year, but a few years
No,
before, and they
I
can't
get
really
that.
contribute like in
You,
terms of at
you
that
can't
level. But
really compete at that level anyway.
but Rangers have done really well in the Europa League over the
Oh, I'm
last
not
few
saying,
years.
I'm not denying that.
But I just
But the
think
other
this
teams
year,
need to step
well,
up and do something,
aye,
but they
they
don't.
do. But even Aberdeen got a terrible draw, didn't they? Let's be
They
honest,
did. They did.
that's a
I
shiter.
felt sorry for
And
Hibs because I thought Hibs were going to get into Europe.
they went
They would
toe
have
to
done.
toe with Midtjylland, and you look what they
Aye,
did to use. I
I know.
mean, I know it's different times in the season. It's you can catch
Aye.
teams when they're at their peak. You catch
Aye.
teams when they're not
Mm-hmm.
quite up to speed. I mean,
It's
it's
like when
like
we
when
play
we play
qualifiers.
teams. Aye,
Like,
I
because
remember we played.
we'll play a team in a qualifier that's halfway through their season, and we're
uh,
just coming back
we played.
for
We played
holidays.
Dynamo Kiev the other year, and
Mhm.
we lost to them in June. And then by the end of the Europa League campaign, they were bottom of the group, and we finished eighth out of
Aye.
32 teams. We were miles better than them, but because we played them at a tough time in July, we went up to schedule. And no, but it'll be interesting to see what next week brings. But
Yeah.
another tough one next weekend. Obviously, yous are away to Easter Road,
Mm-hmm.
obviously on the back of a trip to Feyenoord. So it's
Aye.
a big
Aye.
week. I mean,
Yeah.
Martin
And then
O'Neill's going to need to deal with these
hopefully
away
we're
games.
hopefully we're a week closer to finding out who the next Celtic manager will be as well.
You'd like to think so.
Aye.
But maybe your board will adjourn the manager search. I don't want to answer any questions.
I know.
Yeah, we've still got the Rangers AGM to come. I'm sure we'll cause. Do you know what? It's a strange like Twilight Zone world where our clubs seemingly run quite well, but we're not very good on the pitch. But
It's kind
your
of.
club seems to be run shambolically, but you're still good in the pitch. It's annoying, but
Yeah.
that is what it is. But Rangers are normally the batshit crazy club, but
It's your
let's
turn
just
this
hope
time.
that it transfers onto the pitch for us, that we actually sort it out. Because
Aye.
again, during that international break, that Kevin Felwell came out and he spoke, and I think that just pisses off Celtic fans because they just go, "That guy's hated," and he still fronts up.
They still communicate with the fans. Aye.
He's still coming out there and going, "I'm going to get pelters for this, but
Mm-hmm.
here I am. I'm standing there to be shot at,"
Yeah.
and I can see why Celtic fans are just like, "Yous are a disgrace," like
Mm-hmm.
Nicholson and that, just
Yeah.
hiding. And
Yeah.
Rangers, regardless of how shit we are, they come out and they face up to it, and that's what you want. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of it was media play and bitching about referees and that, and you've pandered to certain things. I get that, it happens, right? But at least they're fronting up with some things and saying that he actually said that he acknowledges that he got things wrong in the summer and they're going to
Aye,
address it. And that's all you want to hear, innit? You
of
don't want to see
course.
him to lose their job, but you want to see people front up and say, do you know what? We got it wrong. We underestimated it, maybe. We
That's it.
we didn't get enough leaders in,
Aye.
too many loans, all of that. That's what every fan's seeing. They're all going, we've only got one left back in the squad. Our whole back four's on loan apart from Old Man Tav. You're like, what's going on? But at least they're acknowledging that they see it.
Aye.
Whereas I feel like the Celtic board just don't acknowledge that they had a shit window
They
and
don't.
that
That's right.
they've regressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think that wouldn't be as bad if they just come out and said, we've been a wee bit shit.
Aye.
Not quite good enough. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
guys. We must do better.
Aye. Especially in January. Yep.
But
Aye.
honestly, do you have any confidence that your board will do better in January?
Nope.
The only thing I've got confidence, I don't have any confidence that we will do better either. But I think we'll try.
Not at all.
But I don't know that you'll even try.
Well,
That's where
just
I
need.
think we're a
We'll
wee
just
bit
need to
different.
watch
If you
and
get
see
what I
what
mean.
happens.
I think Rangers
We
will
need.
try, but they might
You get
fail.
a manager in first. You get a manager in
Oh no!
first. But
Can I get a team of Frenchmen and Canadians? They're
Americans.
they're Canadian. You've got all right, aren't they?
Aye.
So, but anyway, we'll leave it there, and we'll meet and adjourned.
Yes.
I couldn't not do that one. Right, I don't even have a wee hammer. Did they have a hammer at least?
No, he didn't have a hammer. No.
Ah,
No.
that's not adjourned then.
No, I know. No.
Can you leave those Celtic fans alone about a hammer?
I know.
They end up being up his arse. Right, well, I'll speak to you Monday.
Right. Cool, mate. Thanks again.
Right, that's all.
Right.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.